We start our broadcast with the front page, a digest of news since yesterday's broadcast and while we were asleep. The Israeli-Hamas war leads the news again today. Hamas commanders, 19 operatives killed by Israeli forces, this being reported by Fox News. Israeli forces conducting airstrikes in northern Gaza this morning as Israel-Hamas war enters its 34th day. The reports are that 3 hospitals in the northern Gaza Strip are reportedly surrounded by Israeli Defense Force troops, while an undisclosed number of civilians are inside being treated. The hospitals are believed to be where Hamas militants are hiding. Overnight, the IDF said it killed a handful of Hamas Nukba terrorists, that's Nukba terrorists, including 2 commanders who participated in the October 7th attack on Israel. Ahmad Musa, the company commander, Omar Hindi, the platoon commander, and 2 leaders were killed in western Jabalia. That was based on IDF and Israeli Security Authority intelligence. The Israeli Defense Forces also say they've arrested 41 Palestinians in an overnight raid in the West Bank. The military said Friday, today, that 14 of those arrested were Hamas terrorists. The Israeli military said it also destroyed the homes of 2 terrorists it said carried out an attack that killed an Israeli woman and seriously wounded an Israeli man in August. At the time, an offshoot of the secular nationalist Fatah Party, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, claimed responsibility for the attack. Israeli forces sealed a shop in Hebron, which they said was used to print incendiary materials for Hamas. They also raided 3 West Bank neighborhoods where they confiscated weapons. The IDF has arrested 1,540 Palestinians on the West Bank, 930 of whom were identified as terrorists since the start of the war with Hamas. Hezbollah says 7 fighters were killed on the road to Jerusalem. The Lebanese terrorist group Hezbollah said 7 of its fighters were killed today, but did not offer specifics other than to say they were martyred on the road to Jerusalem. A Hezbollah official and a Lebanese security official said the 7 fighters were killed in neighboring Syria. That happened this morning, according to the Associated Press. Pro-government Syria media outlets reported an Israeli airstrike on the central province of Homs. That was early today. Iran-backed Hezbollah is allied with the Syrian government and in recent years has sent forces to Syria to assist Iranian ally President Bashar Assad against armed opposition groups. The Israeli Defense Force said today that it struck targets in Syria in response to a drone strike on the Red Sea city of Eilat, where Israel said they said rockets had been fired from Israel. Let me try this one more time. The Israeli Defense Force said today that it struck targets in Syria in response to a drone strike on the Red Sea of Eilat that Israel said was fired from Syria. It's actually flown from Syria if it's a drone. Hezbollah said 68 of their fighters had been killed since the Israeli-Hamas war began. The top UN human rights official is calling for an investigation into what he calls Israeli indiscriminate bombardment and shelling of densely populated areas in the Gaza Strip. Speaking in the Jordanian capital today, Volker Turk said Israel must immediately end the use of such methods and means of warfare, and the attacks must be investigated, according to the Associated Press. Citing civilian casualty figures provided by the Hamas-led health ministry in Gaza, Turk said that Israel's targeting of civilian infrastructure raises serious concerns that these amount to disproportionate attacks in breaches of international humanitarian law. Israel said Hamas terrorists hide military targets among civilian infrastructure and has released videos showing rocket launchers inside Boy Scout clubs and other places. The IDF alleges that Hamas has placed its main military compound beneath the Al-Shifa hospital, the largest hospital in Gaza. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh announced yesterday there have been 56 injuries total to U.S. service members since October 17th from attacks originating in Iraq and Syria. Singh says this includes 25 cases of traumatic brain injury. According to Singh, all have returned to duty, including 2 service members who were being treated at Landstuhl, Germany, for their TBIs. On Wednesday of this week, U.S. forces conducted a self-defense airstrike on a Syrian weapons storage facility. The strike was conducted by 2 F-15 fighters, targeting the Maysalun weapons storage facility in eastern Syria, according to the Department of Defense. The president has no higher priority than the safety of U.S. personnel. He directed today's action to make clear the U.S. will defend itself, its personnel, and its interests. This, according to Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, speaking on Wednesday. A Palestinian who is heralded as a hero and compared to Rosa Parks by liberal media after she assaulted an IDF soldier in Nabi Salah, a village in the West Bank, was arrested on Monday of this week by the IDF for allegedly inciting terrorism and calling to drink the blood of Jews. Quote, the IDF has carried out a substantial number of counterterrorism activities since October 7th, has apprehended hundreds of suspects. Overnight, the IDF carried out an activity to apprehend individuals suspected of involvement in terror activity and incitement, according to the Israeli Defense Force. During the activity, Ahed Tamimi, who was suspected of inciting violence and calling for terrorist activity to be carried out, was apprehended in the town of Nabe Salih. Tamimi was transferred to Israeli security forces for further questioning. Ahed Tamimi's arrest pertained to a social media post, allegedly from her social media account, which said, quote, Our message to the herd of settlers. We are waiting for you all in the West Bank, in cities from Hebron to Jenin. We will slaughter you, and you will say what Hitler did to you was a joke. We will drink your blood and eat your skulls. Come on. We're waiting for you. The image posted to IG Stories allegedly said that very statement. Tamimi was an icon to the liberal media after an Israeli military court sentenced her to 8 months in prison for slapping and kicking two IDF soldiers in 2018. The assault featured glorified coverage in liberal media outlets. In news of the states this morning, out of Tennessee, tragic news from CNN, a Belmont University freshman has died after being hit in the head by a stray bullet while walking on a trail near the Nashville campus. Jillian Ludwig, she was 18 years of age, was shot Tuesday afternoon as she walked on a track in Edge Hill Memorial Gardens Park, according to Metropolitan Nashville Police. Sadly, Julian Ludwig passed away during the night, the department said on social media. A suspect in custody or is in custody in the shooting, which happened around 2:24 p.m. A man on a street near the park opened fire on a moving car. Ludwig immediately collapsed, but was not found until about an hour later when someone passing by spotted her and called police. She was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in extremely critical condition and again passed away last night. Out of New York, a man used a gun to stop a subway mugging and then got arrested. This from Fox News. New York police have arrested a man who they say opened fire on a subway platform Tuesday that scared off a would-be mugger who himself is facing attempted robbery charges. No one was hurt in the altercation, which erupted after a 49-year-old homeless man allegedly tried to mug an unidentified 40-year-old woman near the exit of the subway. The NYPD then arrested John Rote, 43 years of age, of Queens, hours after asking for the public's help to track him down in connection with an altercation on the 49th Street NRW station. That platform happened, the shooting on the platform happened the evening before. Rote overheard Matthew Resch, the mugging suspect, demanding that the woman give him money or he'd steal her purse, according to authorities. Rote faces charges of criminal possession of a weapon, reckless endangerment, criminal possession of a firearm, and menacing. The city's top transit official, Richard Davey, said in a statement after Rote's arrest, I want to be clear, we don't tolerate this kind of conduct in the NYC transit system, period. Once again, cameras recorded a perpetrator. We are grateful the NYPD made the arrest within hours. Thank goodness no one was hurt here. But what occurred was outrageous, reckless, and unacceptable. Not discussing the mugging, discussing the stopping of it with warning shots fired by a New York City resident. Out of North Carolina, this from USA Today. An orthodontist office in North Carolina has stirred up controversy with its new Grins and Glocks promotion. That's a deal that offers guns to patients along with certain dental procedures. Gladwell Orthodontics, a practice owned by Dr. Jason Gladwell, had begun advertising the inclusion of a free Glock 19 handgun for patients who received Invisalign treatment in his office. According to local radio station or local television station WFAB Channel 9, The deal allows Invisalign patients to choose between a free Glock worth $500 or a membership at the local Youngsville Gun Club and Range. The promotion was originally offered to people already on the club's email list, but it began drawing widespread attention as locals heard about it. Out of Arkansas, this from Fox News, a military veteran has received the first ever whole eye and partial face transplant. The recipient was 46-year-old Aaron James of Hot Springs, Arkansas. He was working as an electrical lineman in 2021 when his face touched a live wire. He was hit with 7,200 volts of electricity. As a result of the accident, James lost his left eye, most of his left arm, his nose and lips, his front teeth, his left cheek area, and his chin. This according to a press release from NYU Langone Health. He described June 10th, 2021, the day of the accident, as, quote, a day I don't remember, but one I'll never forget. He also said it was a test of strength and willpower. From the time I woke up from a 6-week coma, they were already talking about a possible chance of a face transplant. The 21-hour surgery was led by Eduardo Rodriguez. He's a medical doctor and dentist, the director of the face transplant program and chair of the Hans-Georg Weiss Department of Plastic Surgery at NYU Langone. Out of New Jersey today, the FBI search continues for Gregory Yetman. Actually, it's already ended. Gregory Yetman, who escaped after federal and local police officers attempted to arrest him in connection with the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, was taken into custody in New Jersey, according to the FBI this morning. Yetman was identified in a March USA Today investigation about people wanted in the Capitol riot. Authorities attempted to serve an arrest warrant at his home earlier this week. He escaped, and a manhunt continued through last night. Last night, the FBI issued a wanted poster for Yetman, listing his alleged crimes, including assault on officers, obstructing law enforcement, and physical violence on the grounds of the Capitol. The FBI has set a $10,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. That is today's front page.